Little Miss Ginger. Little Miss Ginger lived in Spiceland on Wannabe Avenue. She was a very determined and strong-minded person, and when she set her very strong mind to something, there was no stopping her. Nothing was impossible. Like the time that Mr. Fussy told her she could not paint her house lots of different colors. Do you think that little Miss Ginger listened to Mr. Fussy? Of course not. She painted it red, white, and blue. And then there was the time little Miss Wise told her that it was impossible to dance in high platform shoes. Not only did little Miss Ginger prove her wrong, she went further. Much, much further. She bought even higher shoes. And there was the time that little Miss Neat told her that it was impossible to bake enough food to fill up Mr. Greedy's tummy. Little Miss Ginger baked and baked and baked. And she did fill up Mr. Greedy's tummy, with gingerbread biscuits, of course. Dozens and dozens of gingerbread biscuits. Little Miss Ginger also liked doing nice things for her friends. One time, little Miss Baby wanted to meet Father Christmas. "Leave it to me," cried little Miss Ginger. "But that's impossible," said little Miss Baby. Not for little Miss Ginger. The very next day, little Miss Baby found herself at the North Pole with Father Christmas. Little Miss Scary wanted a leopard print car. "Leave it to me," cried little Miss Ginger. And hey presto, there was a spotty sports car on little Miss Scary's drive. Little Miss Sporty wanted to play football for England. "Leave it to me," cried little Miss Ginger. "But that's impossible," said little Miss Sporty. However, before she knew it, little Miss Sporty was at Wembley in front of a roaring crowd. But last week, little Miss Ginger faced a very big challenge. The Little Miss Spice Girls manager asked her to come up with a finale for their new tour. He said it had to be amazing. It had to be remarkable. It had to be spectacular. Little Miss Ginger stayed up all night trying to think of a big idea. But, as hard as she thought, she could not think of anything. So she rang the other Little Miss Spice Girls, who all raced round to her house to help. "We need an astronomical idea," said little Miss Baby. "It needs to be out of this world," said little Miss Scary. "But be careful you don't promise the moon," cautioned little Miss Sporty. And then, as the moon rose, they all looked at each other. "Let's go to the moon as our finale," they cried in unison. It was an amazing idea, a remarkable idea. It was a spectacular idea. And that Saturday, at the end of their tour, they all took off in a rocket and found themselves singing on the moon. "You know what they will call us now," said little Miss Ginger. "What?" asked the other Little Miss Spice Girls. "The Space Girls." Now that is impossible.